Hey everyone, and look at all those beautiful colours. So I've pulled out a whole pile of colours in the dylusion paints, and I've just got a 2-inch thick brush. I'm just dabbing on some colour here, there and everywhere. So the aim of the game is to add as much colour as possible and have it stand out nicely. So you can see, I don't know if I do that for all of them. I think I get, oh no one's going to be able to see it because I'm speeding up. But if I do, then aren't you lucky? But dylusions have so many nice colours, but they also don't have 20 million of the same shade. So it's nice in that fact that their colours are perfect. They don't need a million oranges because the oranges that they've got are the right ones. So as you can see, just washing my brush in between, wiping it off on some paper towels so that my brush isn't so wet when I add some colour that it thins it out. And I'm just going in with some colour, trying to be that randomly purposeful kind of a look, if you know what I mean. So being purposeful about putting colour in places that mean that colours aren't all next to each other, but also making it look random in terms of the end product so that nothing's all straight and patterned and whatnot. It's more about the fun and the randomness. So that is what is going on. So yeah, that looks really cool just by itself. It's like, oh, stop, put it in a frame and call it art on your wall. So pretty. So just add in some pink now. So the idea from this layout is I had a photo of my son holding the envelope for the vote for gay marriage, and we wanted to document that for sure, and I thought this would be a nice way to do it in terms of having rainbow colours in the background. So this is a remake, so I made the first layout, not filming, just having some fun, and then I shared the end result, the layout, in some groups, and had a few people going, oh, I hope you filmed that, I want to watch that process, that's really lovely, and was like, oh. So here I am, obviously much later because the yes vote was a long time ago, but the process still stands on its own merits as an awesome way to document many memories. Just splattered some water on it, of course. Had to dry that off. Even though those two there's blues together, because they're totally different shades, it goes so well, you don't need to worry about that fact at all. So coming to the end couple of pieces, and this is where it becomes a bit more challenging in terms of working out what colours go where. So you end up going back to some previous colours, which seems a bit annoying and wasteful in terms of putting some paint on and then washing it off, but like I just did then, I added another layer to the previous block of yellow, and also then tried not to get too much colour on my paintbrush. As you can see, because I have to keep dabbing it in because I didn't have enough for even the section that I was doing. And just trying to work out, so I've got 4 spots left. Add a bit of purple there, and I'm not waiting for colours to dry in between, so I do have to be careful about the edges so that they don't blend in and make a yucky browny colour on those where the colours are meeting. Just gonna add, wonder what colours. So yes, bit of the teal. That worked well, bit of teal in both the spots. What's that last colour going to be? Ah, teal. Ta-da! So yeah, so you can see that goes together so nicely. So here he is. I don't know, he doesn't look that excited in the photo, but I think it's because he's like, Mom, a photo, seriously? But he was totally excited. He walked up to the post box and put it in himself and everything. So just use some computer paper, cut it into 4 and randomly placed it in layers, and then I've got the photo just stuck down on top after I stapled it together so I didn't have to glue every layer down. And that is just a simple background layering. That's as simple as it's going to be. Adding some black. So yeah, I thought the colours needed to be framed. So just adding some black acrylic paint to the edges, framing it up. And that's just cheap acrylic paint. I don't have dylusion black paint. I should get it, but often when I go, I'm going to get some dylusion paints, I go, oh, look at that colour. So I get that knowing that I've got cheap black paint that has pretty good coverage anyway, even if it doesn't dry as quickly as dylusion paints and go on as nicely either. So yeah, that was pretty simple, framing it up like that. Wipe it off my desk because, oh gosh, lucky I cut some of that out for you. I'm just going to stick that on there. It's not fully dry. I haven't heat gun it or anything, so I am being pretty careful. Just going to glue it down. And I don't think I add too much more to the layout to add it on an angle, just because the strokes of the paint are a bit straight in sections in terms of going across. Just adding some of this black paint to the edges. Probably should have done it before I glued it down. But that's just to make it blend in rather than it sticking out on top as something that, oh, look at me, I'm just being plonked down here. And yeah, so what else am I going to do? Wonder what you're all thinking is going to be next. So pulling out some thickers, adding on the words yes vote as the title, and they're just some black sketchy stickers that I'm pretty sure came from the reject shop, and adding a hashtag and my journaling spot. So that is a recycled journaling spot from my other page. It doesn't fit because I haven't got the photo over as much as I did on the other layout apparently. Realised I got some black there, so wiping that off. And going to put some journaling up here, and then I change that totally. So I'll show you in a moment. Journal, journal, journal. And it just looks like it's just slapped on in random horrificness. And I realised that I really just want the journaling spot. So instead I take up some of the layers, realise that's the easy way to do it, pull the staple out, cut off that journaling spot that I journaled, and put it back down to the side so that I could fit in the previous journaling spot that I prefer. And I'm going to glue down the layers rather than staple because I got my photo in the way. I didn't want any staples on my photo, but it was having trouble sticking down. So I've got my stapler there, and for once I actually learnt and covered over my photo while I'm doing some ink splatters with the paint pens, some white ones and some black ones. That's just to add some interest to all those coloured sections of the background. Splatter, splatter, splatter. It's just so fun. It's sometimes hard to stop when you're doing ink splatters. It's like, okay, Lauren, you need to stop, put the lid on, back away from the colour. Yeah, because that pen's obviously not ideal for photos. I just added another layer just to make sure that it's dark enough. And I'm pretty sure that I'm just going to add my journaling spot, and I don't know that I add that much more to it. I think we keep it very simple, letting the story and the photo and the background speak for itself. Add this journaling spot in. That wasn't the right colour, so I'm just going to add a black border with my Sharpie pen, and that way it is right. Just a thin line on the inside, so a double lined border, and that is as simple as that to change up what is happening with your supplies. So just going to journal about the yes vote and that he was quite excited to be part of it as such, even though he's not old enough to vote or be a part of it, but he felt that he was, in terms of, we discussed it with him and his brother and worked it all out. And of course I make a big boo-boo with the journaling, and for some reason, why was the journaling so hard to cope with on this layout? I just don't know. So again, use the other end of the journaling label, make the borders on it, and try once again. This is why the video is longer, because of the journaling. But it's good to show, you know, we're all the same. We all have issues with something pretty much every day. We'll be like, what on earth? Why did I do it that way? What was I thinking? You know, the norm, really. So used a thinner pen so that I could fit it in on that small spot, and of perfection. So just going to come to some close-ups. We're going to call it a day, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.